Tornado warning now in effect for eastern Horry County, and that goes until 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can clearly see that we have strong rotation right now, right over Carolina Forest. We did have a signature on radar that would indicate that a tornado may have touched down and lofted debris into the actual atmosphere. So let's go ahead and stop it right here. You see here some of these yellows that you see indicating that we may have debris in the atmosphere. This is about 5 to 10 minutes ago, and what basically happens here is this mode of the radar, what you see in pink, basically says everything is the same size. All right, so it shows up as pink. That means it's probably rainfall. But when you see situations like this where you have these multiple colors of yellow, that's indicating, at least via the Doppler radar, that we have various size objects in the sky, which would indicate debris. Let's take a look at the radar itself, Alex, and see what we have going on out here right now. That debris field, though, if indeed that was the case, looks to have dissipated because we no longer see that, what we call a tornado debris signature. But you can clearly see, if we can pause this, that there's a bit of a hook here right over Carolina Forest, and this is the reason that we have a tornado warning in effect until 2 o'clock. And let's go ahead and take a look at the velocity here.
Ed, it's considered observed on the tag here, so okay. I'm assuming from that CC that is indeed a confirmation.
Somebody has seen a tornado or because of the debris itself.
Yes, I will check that in just a moment. What did you want to capture?
I want to see the velocities here to see what kind of velocity we have here. There it is right there, folks. This is very strong wind heading in this direction and very strong wind headed in this direction, and it is moving on off to the northeast fairly quickly. So let's go ahead and put the radar back on, and I want to track this system. And remember that the data itself is already old into the system by a couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and pause this.
All right.
And also go ahead and track this out from Carolina Forest north and east to see what communities may be in the path of this tornado that is now been observed. This is a serious situation that there has been an observation of an actual tornado touching down. We also have radar confirmation that debris was lofted into the atmosphere by that actual tornado. So we have radar confirmation and visual confirmation as well. These are some of the places where this potential tornado, if it's still on the ground, will be crossing as we head through the next half hour or so. It's right now 128, Nixonville 134, Hand at 139, Hammond at 142, 143 at North Myrtle Beach Christian School, eventually into Longs at 150, and Brooksville around 153. All right, so if you're in the path of this tornado, don't hesitate to take cover, and to do so, your best bet is to get to the lowest floor possible, get to the center part of your house, and stay away from any windows, all right? So there's the circulation again as it's moving through. If you live in Conway, you're in the clear from this system. If you're in Myrtle Beach, that system or that storm is north of you, you are in the clear as well. If you live anywhere along Highway 90, 31, and 22, be on the lookout for this storm because it's racing to the north and east now. What is the forward speed of this storm, Alex?
55 miles per hour.
55
so that
miles
cone
per
may
hour.
have not been perfect in terms of speed, so I'm going to adjust the timing for you real quick and put it out again.
All right, that sounds
so
good.
this will have a more accurate look, and we're going to extend it just beyond the polygon here, but those are better times to work with.
All right, so there we go, 130 in Nixonville, 135 in Hand, so just a matter of minutes now. Your best bet is to take cover immediately. Wampee at 139, Longs at 142. If it does hold together, 146 in Little River. Was on the ground at the time the tornado warning was issued, and of course, as I mentioned, on radar. And let's take a look at that debris signature once again. I want to show you that. On radar, we've confirmed that there was debris being lofted into the atmosphere as well. So there it was, right about here. If you look very carefully, Alex is going to bring that up a little bit closer.
This looks like it crossed 501 near the junction over there at 31.
So right across 501, Highway 31 as well, into Carolina Forest. And I'm going to need to check with my parents and wife because, quite frankly, this is about where I live. So we're going to have to check that out and see if there's anything going on there. It is moving to the north and east. Now, watch what happens as we move out a little bit more. It disappears. So that may be a good thing in the fact that the tornado may have dissipated or it's no longer lofting debris into the atmosphere. All right.
It's important to mention that, again, like you said, this was lagged, but the radar is probably lagged behind by about a minute or two, right?
Right. And
so,
55 miles per hour, it's covered a lot of ground.
That's right. So if you're along Highway 22, and frankly, to the north and east, I would say you need to be sheltered right now.
Right.
Even if there may not be debris now, this is confirmed to have done something.
Exactly.
Sometimes these can drop another funnel rather quickly. So anywhere, I'd say stretching from Longs down toward North Myrtle Beach, including Little River and Cherry Grove.
All the way down 90,
Yes.
501, 31. Make sure that if you're in any of those locations, don't hesitate to get to your safe spot right now. Here's the actual storm itself. It does not look quite as tight as it once did.
Yes.
That is certainly some good news as well, but we can't count on that being the case for the duration of this tornado warning. It very well could spin back up again, but at this point in time, that was an incredibly tight circulation, producing quite a bit of strong wind and even the tornado. As it's moved on, it's spread out just a little bit here, and it's about to move over Highway 22. If our getting radar every minute or so at this point in time, but remember, the storm is moving at 55 miles per hour. So as soon as the image comes in, we know the tornado has already advanced a little bit. So it's likely at this point in time, if there is an actual tornado still on the ground, that it's very close to crossing Highway 22, right there where 22 and Highway 90 actually meet. Any updates from the National Weather Service?
All right, I'm going to check the Slack update here. It doesn't look like we've had any sort of storm reports coming in.
Okay.
It was issued, and then it was continued a minute after because of
Okay.
how quickly the debris was noticed when the couplet was spotted. This was very fast when it occurred.
Okay,
So
let's go ahead and pause the radar once again, and I want to take a closer look at not only the velocities here in this general area, but eventually I want to take a look at that debris signature once again. So remember, folks, green is going this way and red this way. That is still a pretty significant circulation. It just does not look as tight as it once did, and we don't see on radar any signature that would indicate that this is still lofting debris into the atmosphere. Remember, our radar site is right over here, so it's not that far from the actual thunderstorm itself. In other words, it's shooting the lowest levels of the storm and up higher as well. So we're getting a good idea of what's going on in the lower part of the thunderstorm right now. But still, quite a rotation here moving through the eastern parts of North Carolina, or actually eastern South Carolina. Let's go ahead and roll that slowly into motion. Just do it frame by frame here. Once again, that very well could have been debris lofted by a tornado that touched down, moved over Highway 31, right over Carolina Forest as well. And now moving on, I don't believe this is anything significant because we don't actually have thunderstorms in that general area right now. But that is a telltale sign that we likely had a tornado touch down. Again, it was observed and did likely cause some damage to loft that debris into the atmosphere. So McCormick Road, Forest Brook, over 31, back over toward Bella Vista Boulevard and Waccamaw Drive, and right over Carolina Forest as well. Let's advance one more here.
yeah,
And so it looks like there may have been some debris, perhaps even falling out of the sky near Carolina Forest with this. But after this particular image, the next one coming up, basically that debris has disappeared. So let's go ahead and take a look at the radar once again.
Bear with me while we zoom out a
go
little
ahead
bit. And this, by the way, is embedded within the larger severe thunderstorm warning.
Right.
So if you're seeing a lot of colors here, I do apologize for that.
Right. The blue is, part of the severe thunderstorm
Yes.
warning, but it looks like it's taking on more of a bow shape here now.
Absolutely.
Which would indicate strong winds. Those can still be damaging, and we're talking winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. And when that happens, these thunderstorm winds don't have to be tornadoes to actually cause damage. So at this point in time, it does look like the circulation itself is broader, still quite strong, but spread out. And it may be that the thunderstorm, the Boeing area of thunderstorms here, is actually producing some pretty strong winds that is capable of damage. That's about to cross over Highway 22 and 905 right now. It is moving to the north and east. It will stay on Highway 9, cross over Highway 90 and Highway 9 as it continues moving to the north and east. Those of you in North Myrtle Beach, probably a good idea to get to your safe spot to be on the safe side. Same for those of you in Little River. And here's another timing for you now. And Alex, if we could, this is where it was most likely a couple of minutes ago. Let's begin this actual track here
Absolutely.
out just a little bit.
I'll do it right
account for
ahead
that?
of this couplet and push it through just past
And
the
right
polygon.
there is perfect. Okay, so if you know where North Myrtle Beach Christian School is, 137, that's just a couple of minutes away. Wampee at 138. Riverside Elementary School out there near Highway 9 at 139. Longs at 142. Seacoast Medical Center on Highway 9 at 143. Brooksville at 144. Vereen Memorial Gardens up there, right where Highway 9 and, of course, 17 intersect, about 147. Then eventually into North Carolina at 148 for Carolina Shores. So once again, we still have a tornado warning in effect until 2 p.m. for eastern Horry County. It appears that a tornado may have touched down not far from Forest Brook and Carolina Forest. We have evidence on the radar that the debris was lofted into the atmosphere, and it was also an observed tornado. Somebody actually saw the tornado touch down. You guys have any additional information from the National Weather Service, or?
It's from something unrelated. The tag on the flash flood warning in Georgetown has upped the degree of severity there, so we're trying to see if there's any visual from the Skycam there.
Okay.
As for the actual tornado warning, no updates coming in of any sort of storm reports. But if anything here, I'll turn on the storm report layer because sometimes we might get something that pops up on the actual radar, whether it's wind damage or not.
Do we have the Georgetown camera pointed to downtown right now?
It's offline.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Probably because of the very strong winds and the rain down there.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the radar real quick, and let's spread it out over Horry County. There you go. Okay. So there is the intense Boeing line of showers, very intense showers, even a few rumbles of thunder. It doesn't take a whole lot of depth into the atmosphere to be able to pull down some of these stronger winds. So at this point in time, on the leading edge of this extremely heavy rainfall here, we're likely getting wind gusts in excess of 55 and 60 miles per hour, and that is certainly capable of damage. I know we're concentrating on the tornado warning here, but you notice the blue polygon here covers most of the eastern half of Horry County. That's the severe thunderstorm warning for the real possibility of winds in excess of 60 miles per hour that comes crashing out of the storm and spreads out and can actually do damage as well. Right in through here is that Boeing segment, if you will, that's likely producing some very strong winds crossing Highway 9, Highway 22, and Highway 31 north and east of Carolina Forest. So once again, if you live from Longs all the way down toward Myrtle Beach and points north and east of there to North Myrtle Beach, Briar Cliff, Little River, Cherry Grove, you're in the path of this thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado. When the warning was issued, it was an observed tornado actually on the ground, creating or producing debris.
Now, it's interesting to see this, and I wanted to discuss this with you. We could just do this on air. It seems as if right ahead of this Boeing feature, we do have something being picked up. I wouldn't necessarily say it's debris, but that's kind of matching the overall
right where the
line there.
I'm going to put my all right. The tornado warning was just taken off the board. By the way,
that's good. By the way, yeah. So we no longer have that.
That's good because we felt like this whole circulation was much broader and no longer producing a tornado. So severe thunderstorm warning does remain in effect until what time? Jenna, do you have to add something?
There's also a flash flood warning out now for Myrtle Beach, Saugus.
Okay. Because of the extremely heavy rainfall, we also have flash flood warnings now in effect for Horry and Georgetown counties. So it is highly recommended not to get out on the roadways at all for the next couple of hours until this band is actually able to move on. One of the things that Alex and I were looking at this morning, bright and early, was that the models were painting a strip of extremely heavy rainfall, which would indicate to us that a line of showers and storms was going to form. And because of the general motion of that line and the orientation of the line, it would likely produce some extremely heavy rainfall over the same areas. And that was indicating, 7-8 inches of rain in a few select locations while everybody else was getting 3 to 5 inches of rain. So that rain continues to come down. Let's go ahead and take a bigger view of the actual radar now. And again, for everybody who's watching that got alerted for the tornado warning, that tornado warning is now off the board. It has been canceled because there are no longer any indications that this Boeing line of thunderstorms and very intense showers is actually producing a tornado anymore. But still, dangerous thunderstorms here because of the fact that they're likely producing winds in excess of 50 and 60 miles per hour. Let's go even wider here, Alex. I just want to check out the entire area and south of us as well. So let's roll this into motion. I want to get an idea of where more of that heavy rain is coming. You can see the very heavy rainfall over the northern part of the county, all the way back toward Myrtle Beach and extending down toward Garden City and Murrells Inlet. And there's still moderate to heavy rainfall to come over the next hour or two. So the flood situation may actually get worse for some locations as we head through the next couple of hours because we simply don't see the rain ending for some time. Now, the red is obviously the most intense here, but even these yellows and additional reds down here, where there are some thunderstorms, still producing extremely heavy rainfall as well. Anything new you guys want to add?
In terms of the severe thunderstorm warning, no, the tornado warning has indeed been canceled. I didn't want to, because obviously the tornado warning took precedence, but the tag on this Georgetown warning has been raised quite high. They're saying between 4.5, according to emergency management, 4.5 and 7 inches has fallen in that area. And water rescues have been reported in the Georgetown area. So I can bring this information, obviously, to the newsroom just in case. But
I'm sure they're watching in there right now, so they'll probably have that information.
Yes, so they're calling this warning in Georgetown a particularly dangerous situation. And emergency management has reports of water rescues going on in the Georgetown area.
And Georgetown is very low lying anyway, and when you have not only the high tide that we've had that's having difficulty receding because of the very strong wind coming in off the ocean, that water just has nowhere to go. It can't drain into the ocean, so it's just piling up. And of course, the very heavy rainfall is exacerbating that now, and the flooding continues in Georgetown and also into Horry counties. All right, so let's take a look at the current winds across the area. I want to give you an idea of what's going on with that as well. All right, so here are the current winds across the area. And one of the things that we noticed would probably happen at some point is the winds would start to come down just a little bit, especially later in the afternoon as the center of the storm actually got a little bit closer. But check out Florence there, 66-mile-per-hour wind gusts right now. There's got to be a thunderstorm over them. Let's take a look at that, or at least a very heavy downpour that's transporting some of those stronger winds down toward the ground. Gosh, that's weird that there are no thunderstorms over there, but that may have happened right when it was moving overhead.
Here, if anything, I will show you at least some of the gusts that may have been, and again, you're going to get a lot of different colors here, but
this is the wind speed at several thousand feet above the ground, I might want to add. But sometimes that strong wind can be transported to the ground. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what else we have coming from the National Weather Service when it comes to what's going on in Florence with that high wind gust as well. All right, so let's show the radar once again, a bigger view here. The only active warning that we have at this point in time is located in eastern Horry County, and it's because of this intense band of showers rolling through. Is the lightning layer on here?
No, it
Alex?
is. Actually, yes, it is.
Okay, so there's not a whole lot of lightning with this, but you don't need a lot of lightning to produce a shower that's so intense that it can produce some very strong winds. As you heard me mention, you go just a few thousand feet above the ground and the winds are howling. And when you build showers into the atmosphere, what can often happen is they can cause some of that air to be brought to the ground. And when that happens, it can spread out and cause quite a bit of damage. And many times when people have damage from a thunderstorm, they automatically assume it was a tornado. But thunderstorm winds can be just as damaging as tornadoes as they roll very quickly in one direction. In this case, these are moving quickly through Horry County, moving to the north and east. And how long does the severe thunderstorm warning goes until 2:15, and we're simply staying on the air right now because we do have a flash flood emergency in Georgetown County. And hopefully we're going to get some more information there fairly soon. But the heaviest of the rain, the most intense rain, moving through eastern and northern parts of Horry County at a pretty good clip right now with those strong winds on the leading edge, likely going over Highway 9 right now from Loris down toward Little River and Cherry Grove, eventually heading to North Carolina here over the next 20 to 30 minutes. But you can clearly see the rainfall continues to be extremely heavy from Myrtle Beach down towards Surfside, Garden City, Murrells Inlet, perhaps as far south as Pawleys Island as well. And that relentless, at least moderate to heavy rain continues south and west. So the flooding situation in Georgetown and Horry counties is likely not going to improve here over the next hour or so. Just a good idea not to go anywhere on the roads right now, especially in Horry and Georgetown counties, not only because of the strong winds with a thunderstorm, but also because of this. As you see, upwards of 7 or 8 inches estimated on Doppler radar now, near and south and east of Georgetown. We've got 4 to 5 already in Pawleys Island, Murrells Inlet, and Surfside. And of course, the rain totals are piling up here in Horry County as well. Looks like 4 to 6 inches of rain, especially from Conway all the way down towards Surfside and Murrells Inlet. Slightly lower amounts between 2 and 3 inches as you head east of there. All right. Do we have any additional information from the National Weather Service on any damage done? Or do we have any other information about the flash flooding that is ongoing right now?
In terms of the flash flooding, no other reports, just that, again, information on the emergency, that there were some water rescues. We are starting to get reports of down trees in the Florence area, so that may be some
That's probably the 66-mile-per-hour wind gust,
yes,
you're right.
Multiple trees down, according to some of the messages we're getting here. Let's see if we can broaden out, and no official storm reports in the system, so it may take some time. And
it does. Let's switch back over to the radar, though. I don't.
Absolutely, hang tight while we do that.
Kind of been through this,
and so again, even though the tornado warning isn't there, this bowing feature is very pronounced near Longs and North Myrtle Beach, so we could be looking at some gusty winds very shortly in that area. It's important to mention there are 2 flash flood warnings. There's one in Georgetown. That's the emergency.
What are the times for those two, by the way?
The flash flood emergency lingers for another 3.5 hours. So that would be around 5 o'clock, if I'm doing my math right.
5 to 5:30, yeah.
The flash flood warning in Myrtle Beach or in Horry County is not the same degree of severity. This is the more lower end of the threat. And this one lasts also until 5 o'clock. So.
Okay. All right. So everyone knows we no longer have a tornado warning in effect for our area. We do have flash flood warnings in effect for our area. And of course, we have this severe thunderstorm warning in effect for our area as well. It's going to be pretty intense here for the next hour or two with these storms trying to roll through the area and moving on. And of course, with heavier rain still out there as well. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at all the social media, take a look at what is being reported here at the television station, and get a better idea as to what kind of damage may have been done by a possible tornado that touched down near Forest Brook and Carolina Forest, and also gauge how severe the flooding actually is in Georgetown as well. So stay tuned, folks. As necessary, we will interrupt the program here to bring you the very latest when it comes to the severe weather in our area. Right now, 1 active severe thunderstorm warning and 2 active flash flood warnings, but no indications and no warnings for tornadoes at this time. Stay safe, and we'll keep you updated.